Think about your favorite sporting event, the biggest comeback, the walk-off home run, the best championship game you've ever witnessed. Now imagine thousands of those moments happening at the same time on these streets in this town. Welcome to the Fifth Third Riverbank Run. Looking for underdogs? We have plenty. This race is so much bigger than a single win, loss, or draw. It's about us, all of us. It's about the thousands of coaches screaming the exact same message. The streets are cleared, the runners are ready, and now it's time.
This is the Fifth Third Riverbank Run on 24-hour News 8.
Well, there you go. That says it all right now. 41 years ago, a group of guys had an idea to get people to come to downtown Grand Rapids, and it has lived up to that. 15,000 participants, thousands and thousands of volunteers, and even more spectators who will line these streets as we enter the 8 o'clock hour. It's going to start moving here very quickly. Yes, we have the elite men who will start the 25K race at 8:30. Before that, it'll be the women, and you can see a couple of hand cycles, wheelchairs out there for those races. The hand cycle race will start coming up here at 8:15. Pace car turns the corner. We should see our first runner. There he is.
There is Isaac.
So another 5K, 10K champ this year, and you can see the time, 30:38.
Nobody's behind him,
yeah,
so
he looks like
I think it's safe to say.
Much bigger lead.
He seems to be kicking it up to gear here.
Yeah, he does. He's thinking about a time now, isn't he?
Well, he's like, this is my last race of the day. I can leave it all out there.
You know, let's throw him in the 25K. See what he can do, you know?
You ever seen a guy catch the pace car before?
Yes, actually, because the pace car got stuck somewhere.
How's his pace compared to the record?
Oh, it's a little bit slower this year. I mean, and again, we don't recruit for the 5 and 10K, so it's whoever shows up. My guess is on a really good day in a highly competitive race, he would be running somewhere in the 29-minute range, but he didn't need to today.
Here comes Isaac McCooney, about to cross the finish line, break the tape for the second time today.
That's a big smile. Another repeat champion here in the 5 and 10K races. How outlandish is it to get back in there and run a 25K?
You know, if that's what if that's the plan for the day, you got to remember these guys train like this all the time.
Okay,
so and it's not a big deal to them.
You can see it here. Evan Dean is with Isaac, another repeat champion here. Evan.
Yeah, second, if not, I think maybe the third year in a row, the same guys won the 5K and the 10K. Isaac, you did it. You won the 5K, you won the 10K. About 31 minutes. You really just took off at the end. How do you feel about today's run in that time?
I still feel good.
Yeah.
And I'm very happy to have won the 2 races.
Yeah. What's it like, you know, when you go out and run that 5K knowing you're going to come back and run the 10K? Do you save anything up when you're running that first race?
Yeah, I just balance my my body, and you know, I just assumed like it's 15K with a recovery.
Okay. That's a good way to think about it. You know, in this race, you really, like I said, you pulled away from the field much more than you did in the 5K. When did you really start to feel that you could separate from everybody else?
I just felt like I have energy to go around. I just decided to go.
And go you did. Congratulations, Isaac, the 5 and 10K winner. Congrats.
Thank you.
Second to him in the 5K, also finishes second to him in the 10K, and Wilson Tuwai, who finished 4th in the 5K, ends up finishing 3rd in this race. But 31 minutes, 10 seconds, the winning time for Isaac McCooney in the 10K.
And as you can see, the hand cyclists are getting ready for the start of their 25K race here, lined up right now at the starting line, waiting to hear the cue to go.
And when we get them started, the wheelchair race will begin shortly after them. We'll see our 10K finisher on the women's side just before our 25K elite women kickoff. That's all happening here within the next 5 minutes. So this is really the thick of the Riverbank Run action right here.
One wave after another.
You can see some of the 25K elite women just warming up in the background there.
And it was one of the hand cyclists that we heard from yesterday, Tom Davis, who is a war veteran, an Iraq war veteran. He had the line of the day. You mentioned it earlier, but he was involved in a roadside bomb explosion in Iraq in 2006, lost his leg. He compared when we were talking about the rain, possible rain today. He said it can't be worse than Boston. That was the worst 78 minutes of my life, and I've been blown up. A lot of people laughed at that because they know how miserable Boston was. Fortunately for him and the rest of the hand cyclists and everyone out today, the weather is much better than that, and much better than we were concerned that it might be here in West Michigan for this race.
You know, something that he talked about yesterday was just the benefit of being able to race again. When he was blown up in that roadside bomb, it took a piece of him that he couldn't get back, but it also left him with incredible back pain. He's got fusions in his back. He's not able to bend over and get in the wheelchairs like a lot of these wheelchair athletes. So this hand cycle, as they begin here their 25K race, it allows him that opportunity, he said, to go fast again and compete.
And that was important. He was also dealing with some depression and some of the other things that come with being a war veteran and serving the way he did and going through what he did. And just finding an outlet and a purpose was a great thing for him. And yeah, he's one of the guys to look out for in this race today.
Like we said, this is all kind of lot happening, one thing after the next here. That was the beginning of the hand cycle race. In about a minute, we'll get the wheelchair 25K going, and then 2 minutes after that, it will be the elite women who will kick off for the 25K as well.
As we see our wheelchair athletes there getting ready to go. This is a stacked field as well. We've got some Olympians in there.
Paralympians, yeah.
Mary Freebed does a wonderful job of bringing both in the hand cyclist and the pushchair.
And there they go.
Off they go.
And they, both these hand cyclists and the wheelchairs, it's got to be difficult to navigate damp streets at such a high rate of speed because they fly. And you talk about getting to the hills at Butterworth, those puddles there.
The rain really affects the push cycles because they can't grip. You know, where the hand cyclists, they can grip as they're pumping, but these guys, you know, if it's a bad rainy day, it changes things for them. But this is a good day.
Yeah, it'll also, they almost prefer one or the other.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to have the mixed conditions where there may be some rain, well, they've got certain gloves that they'll wear. And if it's going to rain, they will put those gloves on, and they're really a lot of tack to them.
Can't exactly make a switch halfway through.
No, and if all of a sudden there's no rain, those gloves become a real problem to have to wear and really difficult.
Yeah.
It just makes it more difficult, you know, adversity does.
Again, the technology in the chairs over the last 20 years is incredible.
You see the 25K elite women lining up at the start line, and Ellen's out there as well. We heard about what she's doing, showing us the difference. There she is off to the right, wearing her shirt that says non-elite. But
she's got this grin on her face that says, oh, geez, I don't belong.
She's standing next to Aliphine. I mean, how cool must that feel to be at that start line? There's a woman in the crowd there, too, who's 65 years old. There she is. She's from Nashville, Tennessee, and she is the oldest elite runner that we have at the race this year. And she says, even for her, and she's done this over and over again, it's exciting to be with so many powerful women at the start line, so many fast women in a race like this.
She's got a chance to set an American record, correct?
She does, in her age group.
In her age group, she goes all over the country doing different distances, and she's just a really talented lady, and no one will beat her in her age group. She's just that good, so.
She's the only one in her age group today, though, correct?
Well, she's the only one in the elite field in her age group.
Okay.
There's many others behind there.
You saw that's Aliphine Toulimak, our two-time defending champ, and she's also won the race within the race the last 2 years. She's got the #1 bib right there. Ellen's just off to her left. Ellen, please do not try and hang with Aliphine off the start. The start is where she does. Oh, here comes our first 10K female finisher.
So as the 25K women get ready to start, this is the first woman in the 10K to finish the race here, just about to cross that line.
I'm going to take a wild guess and say she's older than 11.
It looks like it.
And the women are off.
And there they go. And look at Ellen.
There's Ellen.
The sprint out to the top, she was our leader for a moment, but it looks like she's already been overtaken there.
Never raise
I
your
hope she
hand.
got that picture.
All right, here's our first finisher in the women's 10K.
That
And we're still waiting on a name for that, but fantastic. Here.
As we
here's
wait
our,
for the name for our
elites.
10K finisher, you can see how the elite field for the women is shaping up here in the first minute of the race for the 25K.
Now, that may have been Mackenzie D. No, that was Rachel Figursky.
Was that Rachel Figursky?
That was Rachel Figursky.
Okay, I thought.
Larry's daughter, who comes out and she wins the 10K.
And she did that. She did that in the Gazelle Girl last year. Obviously, she ran at Western Michigan and at Granville High School. She's got some good genes with Larry. So,
She was in the
just ran
Boston Marathon.
Yeah, she just ran Boston. So she comes out here, 39 minutes and 7 seconds. Rachel Figursky wins
Congratulations, Rachel. And Larry.
yeah.
the 10K. I think maybe
I don't think
Evan
Larry
Dean-
had much to do with it.
I think
I'm sure
Evan
he's
Dean-
pretty proud right now.
Evan should give up the mic to Larry and
let him do the
this,
interview?
with our 10K champion. And I assure you, she did not get the running genes from her father. All right, I'm sorry. Apparently, Larry's daughter was second. So we're still waiting on. We need a name, Luke, on the winner of the women's race.
Evan does
Evan's got the
have
winner.
the winner. So maybe we'll hold off. Larry can hold the mic and interview Rachel later, but Evan will get the winner for us right now. Evan?
Hey, winner. What's your name? Where are you from?
Mackenzie Deemer from Caledonia, Michigan.
All right, so hey, a hometown girl. How was that race there? You did really well. You performed well and finished strong.
Thanks. Yeah, I loved it. This weather was perfect. I'm so happy it wasn't warm and there wasn't any rain.
You know, being from Caledonia, obviously this is a race I'm sure you've either run in before or you've known about. What's it like to come down that home stretch in downtown Grand Rapids in the lead there?
I honestly had no idea I was going to do that today. I'm beyond happy.
Yeah. Are you surprised that you won?
Yeah,
Wow.
very surprised.
Well, you know, obviously, one of our colleagues, Larry Figursky, his daughter was right behind you. Did you see her at all during the race? Because it looked like you got a pretty good lead at the end there.
The second, this girl right here,
Yeah.
she led the whole way.
Did
Caught
she?
her with a mile to go.
Okay. Well, hey, congratulations.
Thank
Great
you.
race. Nice job.
All right, so Mackenzie Deemer, a very familiar name and one of the first names in running in West Michigan, Brian Deemer's daughter. Brian, of course, what, three-time Olympian, four-time Olympian?
Three-time Olympian, Olympic team captain.
Yes. Amazing. He was the steeplechase runner, also the coach at Calvin College. But Mackenzie,
Yeah.
comes
Talk about
out
good
here.
genes.
Yeah, those are really good genes right there. And those she did get from
Yeah.
Dad.
Okay.
Mom, too.
I'm sure.
But Brian was a phenomenal competitor.
So right now, the 25K elite women are about 3 minutes and 20 seconds into their race. They get an 11-minute and 15-second head start. It's a race within a race that has some modifications to it this year. The elite men will be playing catch-up to the elite women for the entire 25K course. The women will start 11 minutes and 15 seconds before the men. That gap is 15 seconds smaller than in past years because the women keep winning.
Aliphine Bolton, twice in a row now, her second Riverbank Run victory.
For the past 2 years, Aliphine Tulamuk Bolton has been too fast to catch, not only winning the women's race, but also capturing the $2,500 bonus for beating the men to the finish line. We'll watch all race as the men try to close that gap and try to win the race within a race for the first time since 2015. We call that the Aliphine effect, as they take 15 seconds off to see if the men can catch the women. We'll have much more on this race within the race, this elite women's pack and the elite men pack, which will kick off here in just under 7 minutes, as well as the rest of the 25K field, when our coverage continues for the 41st annual Fifth Third Riverbank Run after this break.
All right, let's go
And
to the
they're
start
off.
of the 25K. So there's your elite men right there, and you see Sam Chalenga in the 51 bib.
And then Scott.
There's the four guys that you sort of are looking at: Tyler McCandless, Scott Falble, Sam Chalinga, and Samuel Koskai. they were all sort of side by side. They found each other at the start line because this is where the race is going to be, so we might as well get close together now.
You mentioned this before, Greg, but how cool running is, and one of the unique aspects of it is the idea that so many people who are not elite athletes get to be on the same course as those men up in front who are trying to set records.
They are, and it's unlike golf and other sports where they get to compete. They get to be on the same day, same course, same everything. It's just they have a different goal, yet their goal is just as important as those guys who just took off ahead of them.
We saw the guy in the tutu, Jack. Tutu man.
Tutu man.
You know, that's pretty bold. He made a statement there where he started this race. He intends to finish in under 2 hours. That's the goal he set for himself. And that's a big deal. With a flag in one hand, a tutu around his waist.
You have to run under 8 minutes a mile to do that.
I mean, there's like the little 2-hour club. I mean, it's not an easy thing to break 2 hours in this thing.
He just ran the Columbus Marathon a couple of weeks ago, and I saw him out on Nana's run was out here last week, and he had just run a training run with the Road Warriors, and then he came out here and ran the 5K and Nana's run, and then he was going somewhere else to run after that.
How do you pay all those entry fees? It's like, holy smokes.
Well, when you got a guy running in a tutu, maybe you welcome his story, maybe you give him a pass on that so that he can tell it and change some lives in the process of doing it.
You know, trying to break 2 hours, though, after running a marathon 2 weeks ago, it's not an easy thing because that marathon stays in your legs for a while.
We still have, I mean, even though we don't believe the men are going to be able to catch Alafine, we've got a race on the men's side. I mean, this will come down to that final, what, 200 meters, Greg?
It's so rare, again, in longer distances, 25K marathon, to see guys that close this late in the race. That's going to be exciting, you know, and I kind of put my money on Sam, but I'm not sure.
It seems like Sam keeps trying to pull away, but Scott is right there.
And Sam has called himself a student of this distance because he really hasn't run it. So he's probably learning some things about himself right now as he hangs in there with Scott and pushes him, and they push each other.
Well, it's Scott's first time at this distance too, so it's all
He just seemed a little more confident when he was talking about it. Sam had said, you know, I'm really a student of this.
One thing he also added was that he knows he's going to be tired in those extra, because he's a half marathoner. He knows he's going to be tired in those extra 2 miles, but that's what running is. You're tired the entire race, so you just keep chipping.
You know, from a promoter's perspective, I love seeing this. I love seeing two people going head-to-head all the way to the finish, and that's what we're going to have today with those two guys. I mean, no one seems to be giving any ground. They're surging right now. You can see them looking over. You see the arms moving differently. I mean, they've really picked up the pace here in the last 50 meters. Sam just cut him off on the corner. That's always pleasant.
The inside move there. They're making that final turn onto Ottawa right now.
The finish line in her sights here just about.
Yeah, this is a great race.
And you can hear the crowd there picking up. That will certainly help some tired legs.
She's about to win her third consecutive third Riverbank run and third straight year where she's going to win the race within the race. The men are making it closer. You might have to check and take another 15 seconds off next year.
Call it the Alafine effect.
You see the men right behind her now that have her. They have her in their sights now. But she's way too far ahead to catch.
There's the finish line.
She gets ready to break the tape.
She's happy.
Wins again. Raises the arms in victory.
That signature smile. This is the race.
Here comes Sam Chalinga.
They're hurt. Look at their faces now. They're working. They're working hard.
Gut and grit.
I don't think Scott's going to get him.
Yeah, he looks like he's out of gas.
Yep. There's Emma Bates do it.
Emma Bates. So 2 women beat the men.
Look at that though. He's not. I mean, he's losing, but he's not. You see him break right there.
Just broke. So Sam Chalinga comes here, gets a little more than he bargained for, but he is your men's champion. 1 minute 14.53 seconds. Look like.
Yep.
You could see Scott glance behind him when he gave up on trying to catch Sam to make sure at least he was still going to stay in second place. And Evan Dean is at the finish line right now with Alafine, who just won for the women and the race within a race. Evan?
Good morning, guys. Alafine, third year in a row, not only to be the female champion, but to win the race within a race. Take me through today's race. Describe it for me.
Today's race is a little different from the last couple of races that I've done here, just because I ran a half marathon 6 days ago, and so the goal today was just to win the my race first, and then if I had a chance in the end, win the race within a race. And honestly, for the most part, I was like, I don't really want to worry too much about race within the race. And I thought the guys were gonna catch me, but then I was like about a mile to go, and I'm like, well, maybe this may be my day again.
Yeah, it's about the 10-mile mark. You started to pull away there. Where did you find in that part of the race where you were able to kick it in?
Well, the goal today too was to run with the women as long as I could, and I was so glad. I'm so impressed with Sarah and Emma, just because we really ran together for a long time, and I was grateful because I knew that if I wanted to make a move like last year, I wouldn't have been able to make it through. So I just wanted to wait until the hills were most of the hills were out of the way.
Greg Meyer said that we're lucky to have you come back each year, and this race means a lot to you. Tell me why it means so much, Grand Rapids, in this race.
You guys are definitely lucky. No, just kidding. No, this means a lot to me just because I became an American.
You guys are definitely lucky.
3 years ago, and this was really the first race that I ran as it was my first U.S. championship race. I came here, I won, and really after that, my running career just kept getting really better and better and better. And I mean, as a U.S. citizen, a new citizen, it means the world to me to be able to run national championships. I never thought when I was a young kid that I would have opportunities like this. So I am just so grateful. And this race it's like I have a special place in my heart for this race.
Well, you've come a long way. Congratulations. What a race. 3 years in a row, the champion. Thanks so much. Well, guys, we're going to try to keep the camera with us and find Sam. I've actually got him over here. Sam, what a race. Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
I mean, describe that ending there. You and Scott were battling. What was it that helped you pull away at the end?
I'm really proud of the guys, especially Scott. That's the epitome of competition, and he just gave it all. And I'm very fortunate and blessed that I won today, and I thank God for that. And I don't know, man, it was really, really good.
It sounds like it was an unforgettable race. This is the first time, I understand, you've ever taken part in the Riverbank Run. To have somebody like that pushing you the whole way, how important is that as you're trying to get on that home stretch?
It's very important, especially me. I consider myself like a veteran in the long distance running. So when I see young guys like Scott pushing like that, I just feel like I've done my part, and so they're the future of American distance running, and I'm really proud of what they're doing.
What's going through your head in that moment? You've got the crowd roaring as you come down the stretch. You've got Scott right behind you. What's running through your mind in that moment?
At some point you feel like you might have something left, and then some point you feel like, you're doubting yourself, but it's all just mental. And then if you get even a little bit of an edge, you feel like, oh, the guy's showing some weakness. I don't know. It's guts. It does not feel good.
Well, you have a whole lot of guts. Sam, congratulations. Riverbank Run champion. Great race.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
Thank you for the fans for cheering.
So Sam Chillenga winning time, 1 hour, 14 minutes, 51 seconds. The American record, 1 hour, 14 minutes, 18 seconds by Christo Landry here. But what a finish there, Greg.
It was, you love seeing that. You love seeing racing like that. And, the 4 years ago, we saw the men race the women right to the end. But here with, 2 guys, and really the rest of the guys were not that far behind them. So that was a really nice tight pack of men. And the women, Emma Bates in second, ran a great race. Sarah Crouch ran a great race, but paid a price because she did most of the leading early on, but ended up third.
Was that just maybe a miscalculation in the strategy, or that was her race and she lived in that with it?
No, that was her strategy, and she wanted to go out and take control of the race. And what happens is, at the end, at some point, someone's just better than you that day. And it's okay, you can accept that. She was just better, but she ran her race and ran it very well.
So Sam Chillenga better than everybody else in the men's today. Scott Fauble finishes second. Abinette Adraro does finish third. Great he was kind of back in that pack.
Out in the pack, yeah.
Comes flying up Tyler McCandless, Samuel Koskai. So, and this really good times historically. This ranks right up there.
That's one of the strongest, deepest finishes that we've ever had. When you have that many people under 116, that's some good racing.
That's the sign of a good race. And you take a look at the women's side. Here's the top 5 25K women's finishers.
So Alafine wins by 21 seconds, if my math is right. And Sarah Crouch, third place, dropped back a little bit there at the finish, but a fantastic effort by Sarah. Gabray and Atkins finished 4 and 5.
And again, when you talk about Alafine, you're talking about one of the best distance runners out on the roads today. So when Emma's out there racing her, really until the last 5 kilometers, that's a good effort for her.
We'll have some more analysis of what you saw with those finishes with the elite men and the elite women from Greg Meyer and sports director Jack Doles as well. Casey Jones and myself will be back after this.
Last mile was fine.
Welcome back to our coverage of the Fifth Third Riverbank Run here. The 41st running of this 25K race. We take a look at the finish line here. You see some walkers off to the left there. There was a couple men finishing there. And we take another look back at Millennium Park. Sam Chalenga, our winner of the men's 25K race, said it best. It's the epitome of competition, what we saw there at the finish to this race. But this right here is the epitome of community and what this race is all about.
I love seeing this. You know, these are the stories and these are the people that make the race great.
So many stories too from everyone has a reason why they run, and for a lot of them those stories can be really inspiring. And if you haven't seen some of the ones that we've shared this week, you should check them out at WhatTV.com. I know Jack, one of the guys that you talked to, just spends his life now, dedicates it to sharing what he's gone through, and he's in that race today and hoping to continue that.
Spent about 10 of his 41 years in jails or prison. My team triumph, one of my favorite parts of the Riverbank Run. But yeah, Rob Woldheist, 2-2 man. I'm sure if you're at any kind of a race around the state of Michigan, you're going to see 2-2 man. Or if you're with a running club, you'll probably see him running on the streets. 10 years in jail, 2 years in solitary confinement, and it was there that he decided he was going to turn his life around, rediscovered his faith, and came up with a plan. And part of that plan was to find an activity that was healthy, and running was that activity for him. And now he runs constantly, and he's found a purpose, and he's surrounded himself to stay accountable, and he goes to recovery groups and speaking at prisons now, showing that there's hope. And again, that's one of those things that this race just spotlights every year.
And you just never know who that story might touch, where that might reach, who might get into running because of hearing about people like Rob. Who knows? Maybe it's an 11-year-old from Forest Hill Central. This is our 5K winner. You can see her there in the pink and black. That's Clara James here. She's 11 years old. She won the 5K.
I think it's the story of the weekend, actually.
It's amazing. She comes out here in 17 minutes and 52 seconds. She runs a 5K, and she's 11.
And she's got this stoic look on her face like she expected to.
How many college coaches are watching this right now going, hey, we need to send her some mail?
That was amazing. We were all watching going, okay, there's the first woman. Oh, no, that's a girl. That's an 11-year-old girl.
That's a kid. And we were trying to think, was there a race before that? Is it the junior run? No, this is our 5K winner.
Yeah, maybe this was April Fool's Day for us.
We had kids older than that at the Fifth Third Junior on Wednesday night.
And then you hear her talk about it afterwards, and she says, you know, I'm just really happy. It was a PR for me. So you just won the 5K, the Fifth Third Riverbank Run. Be a little more than
She was 14th overall.
Yeah.
Men, women, 14th. 11 years old.
Aren't you
She
happy
beat her
winning
age.
the race?
I think we know. We talk about those stories that we do, that we are able to tell as we lead up to the Riverbank Run each year. I think we know one of those stories for next year. It's a
12-year-old girl.
Maybe he's competing in a 10K, or maybe the 25K. We'll see.
Well, Greg Meyer, thank you for being in our studio today and giving us your insight as a winner.
Thanks for
We don't
all
want to
that you
shorten
do.
your title, but 7-time Riverbank Run champion, marathon winner. I mean, it's invaluable to have that insight.
Thanks
here
for
as
all
we
you do
watch
for the
this.
race. And I have to tell you, because I've done coverage at Chicago, and you guys do a fabulous job. The cameras, all the things that you do a fabulous job. Congratulations.
We have a huge team of people to make it happen. Thank you.
Couldn't do it without you. We couldn't do it without the community, their support, the volunteers, everyone who puts on the Fifth Third Riverbank Run every single year. I mean, that is invaluable to making this such a success. 41 years running. We talk about Frank Cashman and Marty Allen, who had the idea of getting the community to come out to visit downtown Grand Rapids. It lives on 41 years later.
All good.
For all of us here at Wood TVA, we thank you so much for being a part of our coverage this morning of the 41st running of the Fifth Third Riverbank Run.
And good morning to all of you. We are at the start line this morning, and guess what, guys? We have no rain to deal with.
Clara, 11 years old, and you just ran this in 17 minutes.
Felt nice to get like a new PR out here.
You see the 25K elite women lining up at the start line.
And we can see the elite men there